What's up, everybody? J Heat Sports Media coming at y'all again with that fire as always. Spitting the hot topics and getting the sports conversation started. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Football, basketball, and boxing. Let's get to it. All right, so recent reports went out in boxing concerning Terence "Bud" Crawford and the fact that the Canelo-Alvarez fight isn't going to happen, at least if it has to be put on by Saudi Arabia. They are not looking to do it, maybe because of how Terence performed in his last fight. Some people out there feel as though he went up in weight, and because it wasn't super impressive after what he did to Earl Spence, maybe jumping up there to fight Canelo just isn't quite where he needs to be. Maybe he needs to stay at 154, 160 at most, but people don't think, or I shouldn't say people, Saudi Arabia is saying they're not looking to make that fight. And then Canelo had some choice words as well, saying he think you can see from the fight that Terence bit off a little more than he can chew. There's weight classes for a reason. I'm paraphrasing. These aren't his exact words. He did say they're weight classes for a reason. This brings up an interesting discussion about Canelo Alvarez I want to get into. First of all, there was this comment by Leonard Ellerbe. Check this out. Now, Leonard Ellerbe has a point. Canelo is at the apex of his career. He's living the dream, calling all the shots, making the money. He's the cash cow, no doubt about it. It's funny coming from Leonard Ellerbe. I think that this blueprint that Canelo has, he got from Floyd Mayweather, which I'll explain a little more later. He is calling all the shots, though. Make no mistake about it. He can fight who he wants, when he wants, and folks are going to pay, and he's going to get paid well. So should he get the Terence Crawford fight, or should he accept it, is more the point. And Leonard has made quotes and some other stuff he said on X and social media that, you know, he is glad Bud is getting his due as well, and has got some fights that are going to be lined up for him, finishing out his career strong, etc., etc. That being said, Bud has heard the noise, and he commented. He had this to say about Canelo, saying that there's weight classes for a reason, and that he wasn't too entertained, and even said that he thinks that while he'll take the money if they pay him what he wants, that Terence would be easy money, easy fight. Check out what Terence had to say. Now, I see no lies detected in Terence Crawford's statement. However, there's nuance and perspective. So let's get to it. Canelo Alvarez, let's just address the elephant in the room. He has the best resume in boxing currently. He's not only the cash cow, but over the course of his career, which has been many fights, the man has fought more top competition than everyone that is currently boxing. No boxer can look at Canelo and say, your resume is weak compared to mine. Just ain't the case. He can say that to everyone else, literally, but nobody can say that to him. With that being said, there's still no lies detected in what Bud said. You see, Canelo is, in my opinion, as I said earlier, taking a little bit from the blueprint of Floyd Mayweather. He wanted to be the cash cow and the main face of boxing, and he accomplished that after Floyd Mayweather. And Floyd, who, when he was Pretty Boy Floyd, fought any and everybody, you know, he always talks about the amount of champions he's defeated and, you know, his resume overall, meaning Floyd has. And he's correct. But when he went from pretty boy to money, once he had that respect, he beat De La Hoya and became the cash cow himself. He picked and chose guys when he was going to fight guys. Doesn't mean he didn't fight competition, but like the Manny Pacquiao fight, letting that simmer for a nice long time to win. It wasn't quite when the fans wanted to see it, but the fans still was going to pay because you wanted to see money lose. And Canelo Alvarez, fighting him early, catching him early, seeing him coming as a young lion and a challenge per se, but not quite when Canelo was at his peak. And Canelo wanted some get back. He wanted an opportunity at a rematch and asked for it several times. Once, and he didn't, it's not like I'm talking about right after. I'm talking about after Canelo built up his resume and he got better. He's, wanted to come back at Floyd. Floyd didn't give him that opportunity. He's smart. He a businessman. Not to say Floyd had no chance to beat him. He beat him before. Probably could beat him again. But weighing the risk with the reward, Floyd knew what he was doing. And Floyd showed how to break the bank and how to revolutionize the game from a monetary standpoint as a boxer. Nobody's done it like Floyd. Canelo's trying to do that. Terence is right. He made a career out of having his own catch weight, coming down and fighting guys smaller. Like I said, Floyd Mayweather. Other guys, he came down at catch weights who were solid fighters, but Canelo was coming down. So Canelo, he's been smart with his career. When it was time for him to go up, when he was getting called out about the Triple G fight, people wanted him to fight Triple G. He didn't just go up and fight Triple G right away. Matter of fact, he went up to 168 to fight Chavez Jr., who was somebody he knew he could get. Professional boxer, but not a top flight guy at 168 pounds. He went up to put on more weight, even though he was walking around heavier than 160, which is where Triple G was fighting at, to build his weight up so that he could then come down to fight Triple G at an appropriate advantage in his mind, maybe, to be able to take the hits of Triple G and be ready for that type of fight. And, depending on how you look at that fight, that was close. I think after 3 fights, it's clear Canelo won the trilogy. But you could argue over how it played out, where it was a draw, then Canelo got 2 wins. Maybe I would have said it should have been a decision to Triple G, a draw, and then a really convincing, unanimous, clear decision to Canelo. And what is very clear is Canelo got better with every fight, so we didn't need to see it for a 4th time. But that's what he did. He went up to 168, started to collect some belts and went up to 175. Yeah, he fought Crusher Kovalev, but he did that after he wasn't the same Crusher no more, after the Andre Ward 2 fights, after he had also gotten dropped and knocked out by somebody else. Then Canelo went and put him to sleep and got him a belt. When he really tried to test himself a little more and thought he could go up and do it again, Bivol taught him a pretty good lesson. He ain't go back to fight Bivol. Bivol wanted to come down to 168 to fight him for a rematch. He only wanted to do it at 175. Low risk, high reward for Canelo. He's smart. Again, learning from the Floyd Mayweather tree. I'm not knocking it, just calling a spade a spade. He didn't go back and fight Bivol because Bivol flat out outboxed him and showed he could take his power, so he left it alone. He conveniently worked around 168 to when Benavidez didn't have a belt. Once he was stripped, then he went on his rampage and took out some quality boxers, which is why his resume is great. But Canelo was the elephant in the room. I'm sorry, Benavidez was the elephant in the room, the best at 168. Everybody knew it, even as Canelo was going through the champions, that Benavidez was the best boxer at 168. And now, after time has gone on and Benavidez has a #1 contention and is kept taking on great fights, he ain't fighting him. He knows what he's doing. He's waiting it out. Now, to what Bud said, it's because he's a threat. He's right. Bud is a threat to Canelo, even though it's a tough fight to go up to 168. I'm not saying Bud will go up there and knock out Canelo. Could he outbox him? No. Could he hit hard enough to keep Canelo off of him? Be skilled enough and slick enough to keep Canelo away from him enough of the fight to outbox him and win on points? Sure. Could Canelo beat him? Yeah, for sure. It's a good fight. It's more risk for Bud than it is Canelo. Canelo's right in a sense to say he, obviously Bud wants to fight Canelo in order to boost his legacy and his career, and Bud not hiding from that. But Canelo saying he ain't gonna get no credit if he beat Crawford, that's just, exaggerating. What Canelo really wants is he's trying to, again, he's going off the Floyd Mayweather strategy. He's trying to pick the fights at the right time, make maximum money, minimal risk, not no risk, but minimal for high reward. And at the same time, he's trying to cap it off like Floyd did. Floyd was having $100 million fights at the end. He made Manny the fight with Manny, $100 million fight. Then he fought Conor McGregor, who wasn't even a boxer, got $100 million. So now Canelo wants $200 million for David Benavidez. He wants also 150 for Bud. Why is that? That's because he's trying to capitalize at the end of his career too and get those big time fights. If he could get 200 million and then 150 million, that's 350 million for 2 fights. That would be spectacular for Canelo. So I can't knock him, can't knock the hustle. But Bud is right. He's a danger. Canelo knows it, and he's picking it right. Now, how he fought in his last fight did slow up the Saudis. But Canelo can still fight him if he wants to. We'll see if we get it. It would be nice if we did. More importantly, we need to get the Benavidez one. Let's not forget about it. But no lies detected in anything Bud said. But Canelo's still a first ballot Hall of Famer proven champion. No scrub. Looking forward to the Berlanga fight. But there's some nuance to this. All right, that's all the time I got. Y'all know what it is, and you know who you looking for. J Heat Sports Media. Remember to like, subscribe, or get at me in the comments. Find me on YouTube, Instagram, X, and TikTok. And if you got Facebook, join my group, J Heat Sports Media.